about it. Our video.
Yeah, it's
finally going. There we go.
They missed the first 10 seconds.
That's okay.
They missed the most important part.
No, that's all right.
No.
Well, look, we've got a loaded show tonight, and hopefully we'll get it all in, and I feel like we probably will. But, of course, there's a lot of other things going on. If you didn't know, such a tragedy happened yesterday. Among many tragedies that's going on here lately, and, of course, they're having the ball game tonight up there in Washington, D.C., the congressional ball game. And get started, I guess, about 35 minutes ago.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of it here on the live stream for Fox News, and for a minute there, I thought I was watching ESPN.
Yeah, you just didn't have the bug up there.
Didn't have the score. Yeah, I didn't have the score. Like, where's the score?
Right.
What's the count?
C-SPAN's covering it, too. I think they got some people talking. I guess commentators maybe. It's unusual for C-SPAN on something
coming
like
up
that.
next, the Senate hearing on blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. And then a baseball game. Yeah.
Only on C-SPAN.
On C-SPAN. Only on C-SPAN. Yeah, right, exactly. So we've been away from our lovely place here, Studio A.
Well, you've only been away 1 week. I feel like I've been away forever.
Yeah.
I haven't been in this spot for 2 weeks.
Yeah, I know. That's right.
You had to do a sort of a solo show 2 weeks ago.
Correct. You're right. I did. Well, I mean, I had you here.
Well, I was
via the internet.
I was remoted in, but you were having to do all the work.
Well,
I got to take it easy. Just I got to be the talent.
Take it easy.
Yeah. I was like the talent. I just sat there and just
like the talent. Well, the talent's not here tonight. Apparently,
no, he's not.
He's out and about in places unknown, and that that's what happened. So I can't believe you haven't cued your music. That was shocking. I mean, I can't believe that you didn't take the cue. Cannot believe.
I know. I missed it. I was so engaged in the conversation.
Sure.
Where in the world is
Bruce? Well,
where is he?
There, I don't know. The place is unknown.
Figure it out and you'll win the grand prize.
That's right.
But
we won't tell you what the grand prize is until you win. Okay, so 256-782
5600,
and you can be on the Hey Techie Show, and we would love to have you on. We'll take your tech question or a call about pretty much anything. You never know what you might get us off on. We can twist most anything into a technical.
Yeah,
man, with mobile devices using in every aspect of our life now. Something I noticed, I was telling my wife about the thing that happened, the event that happened yesterday about the shooting over at the practice field in Virginia. And I noticed they were talking about how none of them had a cell phone. Very few of them, maybe an aide that had a cell phone, but nobody who was a senator, or rather a House representative, I guess in this case, they didn't have a cell phone.
Really?
Yeah. Even they were talking about they didn't have a phone on them.
Well, they've got handlers like, just go do this.
Yeah, apparently.
But you would think everybody in this day and age would have a cell phone. But
now I know they wouldn't be playing out on the field with a cell phone, so they probably wouldn't practice them. I mean,
well, that's the thing. They may not have had it on their person.
Yeah, but they just acted like they didn't have access to one, so probably in the car or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, they have a handler, and there was some aides out there. Obviously, one got injured.
Yeah.
Really, the senator is injured very gravely, actually. I mean, that's a serious injury.
Yeah.
Congressman, I should have said.
Yes.
That's a serious injury.
Yes.
Scalise.
Yes, Scalise.
The bullet up into his hip.
But just, I thank the good Lord that because he was there in his leadership, he's the majority whip.
Correct.
He has protection from the Capitol Police.
Absolutely.
And they go around with him when he's out and about. So because of that, there were 2 Capitol Police officers there.
Right. Exactly right.
And if he had not been there, there would have been no police officers more than likely. And it could have been a lot worse.
Right.
So, and thanks for the bravery for those 2 folks.
Yes, we do. And a lot going on. It was Trump's birthday yesterday.
Yeah.
It was Flag Day yesterday.
That's right, it was. Forgot about
interesting.
that.
June 14 is Donald Trump's birthday, and that's Flag Day.
I didn't realize those correlated on the same day.
I never knew his birthday before he's president. I mean,
No.
I
didn't realize it till later in the day. I saw it come across.
I got to tell you, I keep up. I try hard to keep up with mine and my family's.
Yeah, really.
So that I know, and friends.
Yeah.
So I know when they are. So anyway, all that's been going on, and we hadn't. I hated what didn't have one last week, but it's not a story I want to get into. But anyway, irrelevant of all that.
I want to get into it. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I know you do. Irrelevant of all that, a big thing did happen, and we'll be discussing more about it, but WWDC did meet, and we're like a week delayed on that.
I was a week delayed reading about it, so
Well,
I had to get caught up after my vacation.
To me, it was subdued. I guess if it's a word you could say. I mean, it was
like, ooh, big deal.
Let me put it
Or
this way.
not big deal.
Let me put it this way. They're just now putting in KB Lake processors.
And how old are those to refresh?
October 2016.
October of 2016?
2016, yeah. October of 2016 is somewhere around KB Lake. So, I mean, I'm just saying.
That's typical for Apple.
I know that, and I understand that there's a lot that goes into that chain to make all that happen.
All I got to do is they just say this.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, that would definitely.
They're a big deal. They don't have to have the latest and greatest.
And if you didn't know, Apple's doing great.
If you didn't
fantastic. If you didn't know, Apple's doing good.
Fantastic.
And they're doing so great that Tim Cook came out and said, well, we're going to forego all that but just trust me. We're doing great.
So
just
no,
take my word for it.
So no stats.
Oh, no, not very little.
Really?
Very little stats on how we're doing.
That's
and
surprising. Usually he throws some stuff out there, even to the.
They had so much to cover, Guru. They just had so much to cover. And another thing. This is a little
and just to refresh our audience memory, in case you don't follow as closely as some folks, is this was a developers conference.
Correct, yeah.
And this was the big keynote kickoff presentation to kind of kick off the conference. And in the past, Apple's used this platform as a means to make announcements to the world, not just to developers.
By the way, he came out and said this was going to be the best developers conference ever.
And next year will be the best ever.
There you go. See, you already knew where I was going with this. I mean, it's next year will be. This is the best.
This is the best Hey Techies ever.
Absolutely.
And next week get even better.
Yeah, that's right. It won't be better than next week. I can tell you that. I won't be here, so it will be better than this week. I promise you that.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, old Michael, he's got to take a little
we're gonna miss
vacation.
We're gonna miss you next week.
Yeah, well, I'll miss being here. And then we've got Father's Day weekend coming up.
That's right. It's this Sunday.
It is Sunday. And, so this busy week. Busy weekend. And we've had a lot going on in tech. I mean, there's no way to touch it all. But yeah, WWDC, to me, was interesting. Very little, and I know it's a developers conference, but I could be wrong. In the past, they have delved into some education a little bit. As far as they have covered their desire to keep the education market in the very little, if any.
But they twisted into the role of a developer.
That's
their audience.
I know. Very little discussion of education at all.
But you can't take just the lack of it this time as they're getting out of that.
No, I don't think they're getting out. That's ridiculous. I mean, of course not.
Don't you're reading the tea leaves too much when you're doing that. So let's just wait and see. Don't have to solve this today.
Well, I think
time will tell.
I think it's fascinating.
I can use a lot of other cliche words, but I won't.
Yeah.
So
well, I have it on good authority.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Good authority.
Good authority that some area schools that were deciding on certain products may be putting the brakes on that. So,
ooh,
yeah, can't go into any more major details. But,
breaking news, folks.
Well, not necessarily breaking.
Well, you can't disclose the news.
I'm not going to disclose it.
Don't disclose what you can't.
But I do know that there certainly is a look at different products.
Well,
not necessarily decide.
And I think I've said this before on the show. I think having tech in the classroom is great if used correctly.
Right. Oh, yeah.
But there's a finite amount of resources, money available to public education, and they are not getting extra money to put into technology. They're having to figure out where to find it in their budget. And I said this to a coworker earlier this week. This got brought up in discussion. I said, well, and the thing is, when you decide we're going to use product A. We'll just use that, not to give names. Well, in 3 to 5 years, you're going to have to replace those products.
Exactly.
Because they have a limited lifespan because this tech wears out and it's the obsolescence factor. So whatever amount you spent year one, 3 to 5 years later, you're going to have to spend it again, if not more.
And some of the big news this week, of course, is Verizon finally
Big Red
signing off on their acquisition of Yahoo. And a lot of the headlines were swallows Yahoo, as this headline is, Verizon officially swallows Yahoo as Marissa Mayer resigns. So basically she's done, which is not surprising.
And she took her $20-some-odd million severance.
Yeah,
and
but
said, peace out.
Yeah,
so
well,
yeah.
I can, really couldn't blame her in a way. I'm not surprised. And I know a lot of people hold her in contempt, obviously. They think she's the downfall. And we talked about it here on the show before.
Yeah,
Bruce.
we have.
We've had long discussions with it. But we'll see. The real question is, and we've had this discussion, Bruce is not here, but we've had the discussion, what are they going to do with it? I mean, obviously they want the data. I mean, they're the data is the huge swath of data. But, think about this. No more Yahoo. I mean, that's name is done. They're going to rename that conglomerate Oath. Not kidding. That's in this. That's it.
So they're not keeping the name.
It's going to be Oath by Verizon, basically. A Verizon company. Oath, a Verizon company. Now, I don't think Yahoo.com is going to die tomorrow.
But it's going to be called Oath?
Yes. That was not a joke. Part of this article talks about
they probably paid big bucks to come up with that name. I could have give you something better for half the price.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
But anyway,
maybe the idea was, and it's my guess here, and that's what we do here.
Yeah,
is that the Yahoo brand is synonymous now with leaking your data.
Yeah, I think I said this before the show, and I should have figured out a better way to slide it in, but I sure hope they don't keep to the security staff at Yahoo. I don't want anybody to lose their job, but like the folks that
I'm not
going to go into
certainly
that,
the breach. It happened.
Yeah,
it happened
hopefully
in
they
2014.
Hopefully they learned their lesson, and hopefully Verizon doesn't take their security practices.
And then they had that was 20, and then a 2013 breach on top of, and then the 2014 breach on top of that. So. They say that Yahoo had to scrape off $350 million off the asking price because of that.
I believe it.
It fell that much of the asking price. So
it's like when you buy a home and you go in and the walls are all dinged up. It's like that's going to cost you.
Now the big number that's toasted or told toasted. It's toasted.
Are you toasted?
It's no, I am not.
Okay.
Well, I did have some toasted crackers a while ago, so I don't know if that counts.
No, that doesn't count. Not the toasted.
$4.48 billion buyout. That's what the big number was.
$4 billion with a B.
$4.48 billion.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot of dollars.
And not only that, there's probably some debt consolidation going on there when they got them. Like they're buying. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, there's debt. All companies have debt.
Right,
so
I know. But think of the
too.
debt they're buying. And
I don't know what their balance sheet looks like, but I mean.
Well, they bought several things over the years, and a lot of what they purchased has not done well. We've discussed this before, but I think that she spent like 10. It was an ungodly number buying. What did they buy? Come on.
The clapper.
Apparently, it was. It's right here somewhere. I just can't believe I don't remember what.
While he's thinking about that, let's talk about something else. No, just kidding.
Well, I'm not going to find this clearly. So somebody,
if you figure it out about this, you can email us at questions@heytechieshow.com. We didn't mention that at the beginning of the show. It's another way to get in contact with us. We try to watch that during the show. Try to.
Well, this must be a deal. I've read several articles about this, and I guess this is not the one I thought I had pulled, but that's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I can't remember the exact company they bought, and I want to say it wasn't Instagram. That was not it.
Well, how about we go take a quick little break, and maybe it'll come to you.
It won't come to me, but we do need to go to break. So when we come back, we'll move on from this ridiculous, boring story on to something else. Tumblr, wasn't it?
Oh, really, that?
I think it was Tumblr.
Yawn.
Hey, Techie Show. Be right back.
We're just getting started. Plenty more Hey Techies show for your listening pleasure.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Welcome back into the Hey Techies show. Oh, is it my time?
Well, we let him sing a little bit.
Yeah. So glad you're here with us tonight. Hopefully you'll call in, not me and just the guru talking back and forth, but that'll be okay too. And 256-782-5600. 5600,
That's right.
and you can be on the Hey Techie show, and I will try to keep my eyeballs over here watching for the
because it's out of my line of sight.
That's true. Yeah, well, you should have seen me in here. I should have took a picture of how I was in here. I actually gotten the phone around to there. The other side, I wrapped it around here and got it around.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'd put it over the time and see.
Oh, Lord.
I know this is a little behind the
wow.
sausage. Wow, seriously, I had to. I mean, I couldn't watch it.
That's impressive. I'll have to make sure.
Well, it wasn't impressive. I can tell you that right now.
Well, all I got to say is Bruce has got to sit where you're sitting next week so he can watch the phone for me.
Yeah, that is a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point. You'll have to do that. Hopefully get some calls.
Yeah, for our Bruce fans, he feels highly confident he'll be here next week. Otherwise, I'll be running this thing by myself.
Oh, I will definitely have to listen in on that. That'll be good.
That'll be definitely no radio gold at all.
Well, look, I hope everyone will bear with me. I want to take this time to do something. We got Father's Day weekend coming up.
Oh yeah, it's Sunday.
Yeah, I know I've said that, and it is Sunday. And but I just wanted to take a minute to talk about my dad. He has been a super dad. Superman has nothing on my dad. That is for sure. And I know many of you feel about your father that way. And sometimes Father's Day is a hard time for some. Sometimes Mother's Day is a hard time for some. Sometimes both of them are a hard time for families, depending on what happened. And but my dad growing up, he's always been there. Whenever you needed him, he's always there. And anytime I pick up the phone, he's been there. My dad lost his dad back in the 70s, and I was young. I was about 2 years old. My brother had not been born yet. And my grandfather had no idea, never met my brother Mark. But my dad really missed his father. There's no question about it. I've heard him talk about it before. And so when you're without him, it is tough. But I am blessed in the way that it's just hard for me to comprehend sometimes of how blessed I am to have such a great dad. And Reverend Danny Sanders, pastor at Good News Assembly out here in Alexandria, and he's a super, super guy. And, we lost my mom back in 1990, and Dad had to go through a lot of stuff. For a pastor, that's a huge loss. You're a pastor, you have a pastor's wife, and it was a tough deal. And it was tough on us boys, but Dad found a wonderful mate, Christina, who is my stepmom technically, but she is a wonderful mom too, and she's been a blessing in my life. And she has been a blessing to my dad, helping him be a really great dad. Dads, we are not perfect. And obviously, you know that, and we make mistakes. We would love for you to think that we don't, but we certainly do. And our kids, they know we do. But if you can just, even if you're not a dad who is biological to that person, but you've adopted a child, or you're a foster parent rather, you can make a great impact just being there, listening to your children. And that is my dad. He's listened. He's been there. He's been a great mentor, and I just want to thank him for his time as being my dad, and he still is. So it's good that you can pick up the phone, and so I've been blessed almost 45 years to have that. And I just want to take a little time to tell him that, I haven't been able to do this. I hadn't really done this over this is our second year, so really felt like I could take time to do that. So anyway, I appreciate you giving me the.
No, you're fine. And I've met your father before, and he's a fine gentleman.
Yeah.
So you are very blessed.
Yeah. So.
And I know there's some people like myself that their dad is no longer with them on this earth. But not a day goes by I don't think about him.
Right. But he was a great dad.
Yes, absolutely.
And there for you when you needed
absolutely,
him.
yes.
Right.
A lot of times some of his mannerisms will come out in me. And
right.
I'll think about him even more.
Right. And I have that too at times.
Yeah.
It makes you snicker.
It does. It does.
Yeah.
When I have these epiphanies about how to figure out something, I'll tell my mom, Dad just came back in me. I figured it out. Because my dad he could figure anything out.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Tinker.
Yeah. He could solve a problem.
Yeah.
Whether it was physical or other things. Like, usually, I remember when I was a kid helping him with different little projects and stuff. But anyway.
No, that's good. And you remember.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good to remember those things, It
does. Yeah.
So anyway, well, wherever you're at, I hope you will have a great Father's Day. And, I trust that I will, and I know that those of you that miss your father, we totally understand. So, and my dad certainly understands because he doesn't have his father or his mother anymore. But those, there's very few people there's a lot of people that are in that situation. Some people have not been in it long, and some people have been in it a long time. But the Lord can be your heavenly father and your mother too. There's
true.
No question.
Absolutely.
And my dad is really been blessed, and I've been blessed growing up in a Christian home and being a pastor's son all my life. I've never regretted that. That's never been a negative for me. I know some people find that it is for them, but you call it PK. I've always just embraced it. Sometimes we've said we're the worst. And that could be the case, but I don't know if it was in my case. But anyway, well, look, thank you so much for giving me this time to break outside the box of a computer and cover something else that's important to us. So
that's fine.
So anyway, I want to talk a little bit to Guru. I'm going to put him on the spot.
I'm on the spot. I don't know if I'm ready for this.
And he's going to be a guest of the show.
Oh, I'm a guest.
Yes, you're going to be the guest, and I'm going to ask the questions, Guru. Now, Guru just came back from a whirlwind vacation.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, and unfortunately, in an apology to him, he was hoping last week he could call in and you all could guess where he was. Of course, that didn't work out.
It didn't pan out.
It didn't pan out, and part of that is my fault, so I take the blame on that.
Part is my fault, too, because I couldn't get good connectivity.
Well, we're going to talk about that.
And I was having too much of a good time on my vacation.
Sure,
so
and nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and I do apologize to our listeners
now,
because I did kind of tease that last week.
We did, but that's okay.
That's okay.
But anyway, so Guru was on a cruise. He likes cruises, enjoys them.
Oh, yeah.
And nothing wrong with that.
Best vacations ever.
And there you go. And you've got a professional opinion of one who's been on a cruise many times. But I wanted to give just a few minutes here to talk to Guru about this particular thing here. What about technology on a cruise? For instance, is the cruises you've been on, are there some things you ever took that you said, well, I really didn't end up needing that. That was a waste of being on this cruise. I won't pack that the next time. What could I have gotten by without that?
Yeah, I can think of a couple things. First cruise I ever took, I was like, I know I want to take pictures, and I had a digital SLR, and I had my phone, of course, and yeah, but I packed that digital SLR in addition to my phone, in addition to other things. Like I had gobs of technology. I think I had a laptop computer.
Okay.
Because I just don't ever go anywhere without a laptop computer.
Sure.
This was multiple years ago, but I never pulled a laptop out one time. The digital SLR that I took with me in its own little case, I had to put it inside of a suitcase that I checked. That it wasn't checked. It was your carry-on the plane.
Yeah.
Had to fly to get to the cruise port on that one. But anyway, I took maybe a dozen pictures. Well, probably more than a dozen. I probably took 20 pictures with that SLR One day I was on shore because I took it with me, and it was either in my backpack or around my neck. I was like, it's got in the way.
Right.
So after that, I never took the digital SLR. I said, I'm not taking it because it just gets in the way.
Right.
The picture I took with my phone were just as good. Now, I'm not a photography buff. And some folks probably yelling at the radio, it's like, Guru, you got to have a good camera. And if you're an amateur or an up and coming photographer, and that's very important to you, then by all means take it.
Right.
But I don't take enough pictures.
Right, to justify
it. I'm not that good with that prosumer gear in terms of still photography. Mm-hmm. So the pictures that I enjoy the most, I take from a phone.
Right.
And like this time, I had a small point and shoot that I'd bought within the last 6 months. So I took it. It didn't take up much space.
Right.
But I had to make myself take pictures with it.
Yeah.
You know, one day I didn't even have it with me. I was like, why didn't I bring it? I left it on the ship. But, you know, I always have my phone in my pocket, so I was prepared. So, yeah, that's one thing. If you're not a huge pro photographer, don't worry about a camera.
But then
just have, as long as you got one on your smartphone,
right,
you're good.
But a good one. That's another thing.
Yeah,
you might not have a phone that takes the greatest of pictures. If
it does not take good pictures, then obviously think about that. But if it takes good pictures, if it's an iPhone of any recent generation,
right?
Like mine's a 6,
right?
You know, I wish I'd had an iPhone 7 Plus for this trip because of the dual lens camera.
Correct, right.
But I'm not going to spend the money on it right now. Maybe another cruise because that would tap into my cruise money.
Yeah, that's right.
I mentioned laptop earlier, and I had my Microsoft Surface with me because I had it. That's how I called into the show last week. No, I ended up using my phone, I think. We were having technical issues.
Right,
but anyway,
exactly.
There's too much stuff plugged into this Surface 3. But anyway, I had that Surface with me. I thought I need something with me pre-cruise, post-cruise, like I'm in the airport. You know, if I need something more than a phone. Right. So it went with me, but I pulled this Surface out one time. And it was just to look at video I'd shot with my GoPro because I could look at it easier on this screen versus that. But I used it one time.
Right. But you did take a GoPro with you, too.
Yes, I'm getting to that.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I do take a GoPro, but those don't take up a lot of space. But I've got all the accessories.
Right.
You know, it just depends on what you want to do with it. Well, one thing that I like to do is I like to shoot video of the ship sailing into a port or leaving a port.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And what's so cool about it, what I've done, and this has kind of been I don't know if it's a trademark, I really can't say trademark, but I'll set it up like on the railing of a ship, whatever, on the bow or the stern as it's leaving or coming in, and just let it run. Then I'll go back later, like in some sort of video editing software, and speed it up to where you can watch that sail in or sail away in like 2 or 3 minutes instead of 40 minutes.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I think I've seen some that you've done.
And I also I'm working on a ship tour video of the ship I was on too. So when I get it ready, I'll share it on
Excellent.
The show. That's one thing I just started doing, the kind of part of my cataloging of my travels and stuff.
But now let's talk a little bit about if you're dealing with Wi-Fi on a ship.
Yeah.
Now, first of all, you can expect it to be expensive. I mean, you should, right?
Yeah, it's going to be expensive. It's not going to be like Wi-Fi. You know, we're at a point now. Wi-Fi is plentiful. Just about any business you go to, any restaurant you go to, they have Wi-Fi. But we have now data plans have gotten so cheap. You know, we have internet anywhere basically.
Right.
But on this ship I was on the Norwegian Breakaway. I'll go ahead and give it away. I mean, probably no secret if somebody figured it out. But anyway, I actually got this information while I was on the ship to make sure I had it, because pre-cruise you can buy internet, but they really don't give you the full. You have more options on the ship.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll start with the lowest. You can do a pay-as-you-go. It's 59 cents per megabyte.
Hmm.
So I mean, if you just need to do a quick hit, maybe the checking for your flight that last day of the cruise if you're flying. But 59 cents per meg, and they charge it to your onboard account that's tied to your reservation and stuff. Because on these ships, in case you're not aware, like you give them a credit card or debit card when you check in at the pier, and you use your room card on board as your purchasing card. So you buy drinks at the bar. If you buy something in the gift shop, they swipe your room card, and at the end of the cruise, you get a bill, and they settle up through your card. Or I think you can do cash too. But anyway, so 59 cents per meg. They have a sampler plan. They call it sampler. It's 25 megs for $12. Yeah.
That won't be long.
No. I mean, you're not going to be able to do a whole lot with it. I mean, if you wanted to check email quickly and not download attachments, you probably could get away with that for a little bit. But you can also, with these, you can start and stop at any time you want. There's a way. It's pretty cool, though, with at least with the Norwegian ship I was on. It was login.com, and you logged in. Then logout.com would log you out. They had that set up in their DNS to where you could just do those quick URLs in a browser on your device, and it would cut you on and cut you off. So like it's always on.
Right.
They had the next one up is the small plan, 100 megs for $29. Still not a lot. That's $30 now.
Yeah, for 100 megs.
Yeah.
Which
then the medium, 300 megs, 3 times the small, $59. Then the large, 1,000 megs for $125. That's a lot. I mean, you think, it's a gig, but $125. That's a lot of money. Think of how much.
Oh, my goodness.
Then the unlimited.
Yeah.
Unlimited. I'm using my air quotes here. I'll get that in a minute. It's $29.99 per day.
But.
And you have to buy it for the whole cruise.
Yeah. That's crazy.
So for this 7-day cruise I was on, that's $209.93. But here's one thing that the internet manager told me, because I was with somebody that was having trouble with, they'd bought the internet package and they were having trouble with it, and they were trying to get some time put back on it. Is they do throttle it if you're on the unlimited. If you're using what they consider too much bandwidth, they will throttle your, so you can't do a whole lot of, you're not doing streaming with this.
Wow.
If you start doing that, they're going to slow you down. I mean, it's a finite resource because it's all satellite based.
Right, exactly.
This works anywhere on the planet, but you also got to think that same backbone.
Yeah.
Is the ships having to use it?
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, they're having to conduct business back with their company, and all that's being handled through that same data pipe.
Sure.
So I mean, I understand. It's just, my advice is just to unplug.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Unplug while you're at sea. Now, I will say this: you go to these ports, you can find a coffee shop or a restaurant. And that's what I did. Is I didn't even use international data. I had it set up to where if I was to turn on my cellular radios and connect to a cellular system, it would charge me $10 a day.
Right.
It was the travel pass, is what Verizon calls it. It was $10 a day if you used it.
Okay.
And it would use your domestic package, whatever minutes and data you had as part of your plan, it just used off of it. So I would have had unlimited text, unlimited calling,
right? And
whatever data I consumed would be deducted from my plan.
Regular data, but
at the cost of $10 per day. That's not per. It's per 24-hour period. So like if you turn it on at 7 p.m., it would be good till 7 p.m.
the next day
or 6:59.
Right.
So that's an option. You can call your company if it's not Verizon and see if it works for your device too. And you also they can tell you too, if you tell them where you're going, they'll tell you if it has 3G or 2G or 4G. Where I went was 4G. I went to Bermuda, by the way, if you hadn't figured it out yet. Well, you could probably go Google Norwegian Breakaway. Don't do that many itineraries. But anyway, they had 4G on the island, which was good. But it was nice to unplug.
Yeah.
And when I did these, if I wanted to check back home or check email or I could send Michael a couple pictures, I'd go to a coffee shop and
exactly.
Just say, hey, do you have Wi-Fi? And if you're buying something, oh sure, yeah, and here's the password. Some of them just give you the password. Some of them they'd have it like in the business inside, so you had to come in. And then some like to give you a little code. It'd be good for an hour. And they have some sort of system in their business to where it'll work for an hour. Right. It'll bump you off after an hour. But I mean, just patronize these local businesses, and they'll have internet.
There you go. That's a tip. When you're on these trips.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna stop anyway. You're thirsty. You're hungry. You want something to drink or eat, and Yeah.
Of course, now that kind of Wi-Fi, you have to be careful.
Oh, you do.
In public. So be careful.
Don't be paying your bills. Don't be doing online banking. There's always that possibility. But I was doing iMessage and some encrypted stuff and encrypted communication. But there's still a man-in-the-middle attack. But it just depends on where you're at too.
Oh yeah.
But you always get a VPN. If you're worried about that, have a
VPN.
Do your VPN. Get that ahead of time so you can use your VPN. And I did not do that, unfortunately. But
but
I wasn't
doing simple stuff.
Yeah, I was doing just quick check in with people, and then I was done.
Right.
So.
Exactly. But if you had to, like, say, if you were just that person that you cannot not be connected. Let me put it that way. Okay, let's just say it that way. You could get by with that if that was just to get you by. So, for instance, what I'm saying is, if you had to check, I got to check Facebook. I got to check. I got to check.
I got to check my Instagram.
Or I
got
got
to
get this
Snapchat.
picture I just took up to my 5 people that follow me. You know,
I got the Snapchat.
correct, right?
There,
then you could actually do that. Now, most of these areas that you've been, there might be somewhere you could like use Wi-Fi here or there. Or what
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some places in the Caribbean don't have decent Wi-Fi.
Now, do some
decent
of these
cellular.
cruises, and some people might be interested in this from a technology standpoint, do some of these cruises have behind-the-scenes tours where they'll take you behind the scenes and you can tour?
Most of them do. The ones I've been on have offered it as kind of a short excursion, even though you don't leave the ship, but it's offered through the short excursions desk. And the ship I was on offered it. I did not do it this time. I've done it on a previous cruise, and they take you like to the galley. That's where they, the kitchen, where they call the galley on a ship, the laundry area, the provisioning area where they store all the stuff, like the where they bring all the garbage and sort it, like the recycling. It's really recycling.
Right.
They take you to the behind the scenes of the like production show. You talk to those people. So, and depending on the cruise line, like I did a cruise once, it took you to the bridge and the engine room.
Yeah, and I was going to say the engine room would be interesting to see.
On a Carnival ship I went on earlier this year, I did this tour there, and it took you to the engine control room and the bridge.
Yeah.
But Norwegian Cruise Line, that stuff's restricted.
Okay.
It just depends on the company.
Right.
And their procedure and their policy. And a lot of it has to do with the captain, too. I mean, if that captain says no,
right,
he or she makes the final decision.
Speaking of that captain, did you see them out any? I
mean,
okay.
I met the captain.
Okay.
Got to shake hands with them. Met the hotel director. And the hotel director is kind of, I guess, second or third in command. He's, of course, the captain's the ultimate person on the ship. But the hotel director, all the hotel, like the housekeeping staff, the customer service, the front desk, the short excursions people, the entertainment, all the restaurant staff. Basically, the ship I was on had 1,700 crew member total employees.
Yeah.
Out of the 1,700 crew members, the hotel director had 1,400 people that reported to him.
Okay.
So I mean, he's a big deal.
Yeah.
I
Clearly.
I asked him that question. I said, "You're kind of a big deal, then, aren't you?" He's like, "Yeah." The gentleman's from Croatia. He's a very, very nice gentleman.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was cool. Got to meet some of the officers and talk to some of the crew, and
right.
A lot of them talk to you at dinner and stuff. And I mean, best service you can ever get. I've never received that level of service at a typical vacation. A land-based vacation.
Yeah,
it's just they go above and beyond to make sure you're happy.
Right.
And
then obviously I don't know about that one. I know the only one I've ever been on 19 years ago, pardon me, had gambling.
Oh yeah, they have casino.
Okay, they probably have
once they get out in international water, the casino's open.
Right. Which I don't care anything about.
I don't either.
Pointing out. But now
I met a person that their cruise was free because they'd done a lot of gambling on previous cruises and got enough status through the casino to get a comped cruise.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's just like in Vegas, apparently I've heard where if you gamble a lot in a casino,
I've heard that
they'll give you free hotel nights because they want you to use their casino.
Spending the money there.
So that works on the cruise ships apparently too. So if you like to gamble, you may get a free cruise. Not condoning or promoting or anything on gambling, but this person I met, that was how they got their cruise for free because they did a lot of gambling.
But now, obviously, shows and that kind of thing.
Oh yeah, there's
very advanced technology probably that they're using.
Man, the production value of the shows and just any of the venues, not just the main stage, but they had several venues around the ship where the technology and the audio visual it's amazing,
right? Because it's really a city on a boat.
It's a floating city. I mean, they have like production, like TV quality equipment, like
right.
They were around filming events and stuff, and then you'd sit the next day on a certain channel on your stateroom where they show like a recap of it.
Oh, and that's all right. They have a channel that'll tell you how far you're out.
Yeah.
And the water temperature of the.
You've got a channel that's like the navigation information. It goes through and tells you position. It shows you on a map. It'll give you latitude, longitude. the current weather, sea conditions, and then there was another channel that had like a view from the bridge. It was a camera that was like mounted at the bridge level, pointing to the bow, the front of the ship, and then you could see that. So very nice, especially if you're in an inside room where you don't have a view out. You can see. Are we getting close to port?
Well, when we come back,
I could talk about this for like 2 hours.
We could talk the whole show, but we're not going to do that. But we'll talk about something else and bring up a subject here or there. I'm sure that of importance. And you can also call the show. Hey, Techies Show. Be right back.
Don't go anywhere. There's more in the queue lined up just for you.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show on WLJS Jacksonville.
Welcome back in to the Hey Techies Show. It is not the Cruise Guru Show.
No,
we were glad to talk about that, though.
There is a podcast named Cruise Radio.
Oh, I'm sure
there's it's not on the radio. It's just a podcast.
Yeah, that's neat.
Yeah,
and you can find out all kind of great information. I'm sure.
Oh
yeah.
I'll just say this: if you never tried a cruise, try it. Try it at least once. It's not for everybody, but
right. And if you're concerned about having to go a long way, there's actually cruises that leave from Mobile.
Yes,
you went on.
Yes, the Carnival Fantasy is currently sailing out of Mobile, Alabama. So. From where we're at, it's about 5.5 hour, 6 hour
you could do a 3-day ride. You could do something not very long.
Yeah, that's another thing. Because somebody was asking me, one of my friends on the ship, they were thinking about giving a cruise to their daughter and their family, and want to know what would be a good first cruise. And I said, I would say a short one.
Yeah,
because if you don't like it, you're not stuck on the ship for like 2 weeks.
Right.
But yeah,
that's true.
So.
Well, as we talked earlier, WWDC was the other day, 2 weeks ago. I guess it was the 8th it started. And if you don't know much about that.
Worldwide Developers Conference.
Right. But the one thing that I think is to note is a little background and a little bit of information. This year cost $1,700 to attend. That does not mean staying out there for a week. That's just to get in the place.
That's the fee to get in the door.
And they said that this is the most they'd ever had, of course.
Well, in the past, I'm not sure how it did this year, but in the past it was a lottery. You had to be
at some point they cut it off.
Well, in the past, first of all, you have to be an Apple developer. You have to have a developer's account, which you have to pay $100 a year for. Right. That's a subscription, basically, service. Right. And in the past, because there was so much demand, they were having to do a lottery. You had to put your name in the pot for a chance. And I've spoke to some people that work for a company, and they do mobile. So, like, everybody on their team had to put in the lottery to see who got to go because they wanted to send some people, obviously. I'm not sure if they did that this year or not. So,
but I guess what I wanted to focus on, yes, they talked about their new line of Macs.
They
were basically the end of the end.
It was 6 things. That's what Tim Cook said. There were 6 things.
Yes,
I've studied up on this.
There were 6 things.
You think I studied up?
I did not say that. What were the 6 things?
Well, the first one was tvOS. Let's just go through them.
They didn't touch on it much.
Yeah,
very little, which not surprising.
I've got a little bulleted list here of some key points that I took away from it. This ain't every detail. We're gonna put a link to the full video in the show notes. Plus, there's this video that somebody else did. I'm not sure who did it. Let me see if I can tell. It's from The Verge. I think they did
19-minute keynote.
It was the keynote in 18 minutes.
Well, they could have took out, woo!
about 50 times.
Oh my goodness, that was the thing they did. Oh, I wanted to make a sound clip. I meant to, so we could play tonight. And I could say if you missed it, this is what. But
it probably sounded like this.
No, it was not. Well, yeah, the end of it, but every one of the applauses started with "woo." I mean, it was really crazy. In a way, I mean, it's like seriously, that's all we can do is woo. It's like we're at Six Flags.
They're excited, yeah, like about to go up the top of the hill.
Ooh, right, that's what it sounded like. Yeah, right.
So TVOS, the one thing I took away from TVOS, and that's Apple TV.
Yes.
Is Amazon Prime Video is coming to TVOS. I thought that was quite interesting.
It is.
Which, I mean, that's a lost market for them because right now, if you have an Apple TV, that's your only way to consume, streaming content. They're left out in the dark, and Amazon wants to make money off that subscription.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, and two, this is another push that Apple is trying to make for cord cutters. I mean, they're really wanting to try to get a piece of that market.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So that was the thing I got from tvOS. Number 2 was Apple Watch. So no new hardware.
Yes.
Just the new WatchOS 4.
Correct.
I didn't realize it was at WatchOS 4 already.
Yes, that's right. 4.
So, WatchOS 4. There's a bunch of stuff they talked about.
It wasn't a lot. Most of what they talked about, from my standpoint, I'll let you finish, was faces. The different kinds of faces you get.
Yeah, the big thing that I wrote down here was about some watch faces. There's a Siri watch face that's going to be part of WatchOS 4. And there was some other ones, and one in particular I talked about was the kaleidoscope.
Yes.
This is what cracked me up. They said if you on the kaleidoscope, if you turn the digital crown, it gives you a trippy effect.
A trippy effect.
Trippy effect.
Oh my goodness, yes.
But good news is WatchOS 4 will work with all watches. So even if you have a first gen watch, and it's coming out this fall.
That's right.
So that was number 2.
Number 2.
Number 3, Macs.
Oh yes, Macs.
So they first started talking about
Macs are the greatest things ever, according to Tim Cook.
Yeah, so
slice bread.
So this is in particular Mac OS. The next, they announced the next major release. Microsoft, this is the last release ever. Now this is the next release, whatever version, but they're calling it Mac OS High Sierra. High Sierra.
Right. Yeah, not just Sierra, but High Sierra.
It's like they're running out of names, like High Sierra.
I think they're trying to get a lot of folks from Colorado
it's like
to be interested in it.
420. Just call it Mac OS 420.
Yeah, they should Mac OS 420. That's what they probably should have called it.
But it's like, they had leopard and snow leopard and line and mountain lion. Maybe it's just to signify it's kind of not a revolutionary, more of an not evolution. I don't know. It's kind of a enhancement release. But here's some interesting things that I took from it. Particularly, and this is surprising for me because I'm not a Safari user that much. I use Chrome and Firefox more, but Safari in macOS High Sierra is going to have a block autoplay feature.
Yeah, correct.
Where these you go to these sites, and
I'm
guilty of it because sometimes I forget to mute this computer, and I'll go to an article to have it handy, and the videos start playing, you'll hear it through the mics.
Yes, that's correct.
So, and I see, since if Safari's about to do that, you'll see the others follow suit, I believe, in time.
Well, I think you won't see Chrome do that.
Oh no, there may be a plug-in.
Chrome, well, maybe, but not native. Chrome doesn't have a native text reader. Like it won't. There's no button that you can say, okay, make this just be text. Firefox has that. Safari has that. But you know why they won't? They don't want to block the ads.
Well, it'll
Google's about ads.
It'll block autoplay on everything but their ads.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't see. Well, anyway, that's a side note, but I was shocked.
Another thing Safari's going to have is intelligent tracking protection to keep, like, you go to a site and then you start going to other sites, you get the little ads related to that site. So that was kind of the example they used. We'll see how that works.
Speaking of ads, they were going to block those. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so there was there's new features in the Mail app. Whoop-dee, I don't use a Mail app. I use web-based mail. Some enhancement to the Photos app. I thought this was interesting. It's got some more almost prosumer editing ability stuff that you used to have to pay.
Right, exactly.
Like pay for Aperture and other pro tools. You'll have some of that ability in the Photos app. So everybody has a Mac.
And
we'll have that.
It looked like Siri was going to be tied more into a lot of these apps.
Yeah,
than it had
yeah,
been, from what I gathered.
more Siri. Siri everywhere. Siri for all. Siri, yay, Siri. Can you tell I'm excited about Siri? Not really.
And a new file system.
Yeah, that was next. The Apple file system. They've been using whatever they've been using for years, but this is their own creation. We'll see how that goes. But it's going to be the new one by default, so I wonder if it's going to convert your old.
Well, they say it's going to be much faster. They showed a demo about copying files.
I wonder if you have the ability to convert your existing Mac to the Apple file system.
I don't know how. That is a good question.
New
Macs
that ship with High Sierra would have it obviously by default.
Right, but if you're doing an update, they didn't. They didn't say there was not going to be any upgrades, so I would assume they're going to figure it out.
There was some more. There's some enhancements to, and this is really not Mac OS, but I guess Final Cut Pro 10, Final Cut Pro X will be coming out, a new version. But it's going to support VR.
Yes.
More where
and they showed some demos of VR.
You'll be able to edit 360 videos in Final Cut, which is something that hadn't been able to do before. I think you had to use Premiere, the Adobe product. Yeah, I think. So anyway, that was some of the keys of Mac OS.
Woo!
Yeah,
I'm serious. You think I'm kidding? That was every few minutes.
Public beta late June. Woo!
Yeah.
Free upgrade in the fall to all systems that support Sierra. Woo!
It's like we're riding.
Well, that's a good thing though, because if your current Mac supports the latest Sierra, then you're good.
Yeah.
And I've got like a 6-year-old Mac in the office that still runs Sierra, so it'll take High Sierra. So
that's right. You can run 420.
I guess I can.
Mac OS 420.
Mac OS 420. So I don't know what number we're at because I lost count here. But anyway,
that was 3, wasn't it? Two or three.
I've got more than 6 main bullets on here, so. I guess number 4 would be hardware. New iMacs. Let's take a step back. This is important because we had the discussion on this show before. What they're going to do about Mac hardware?
Yeah,
and I said no. They're going to keep supporting it. They're not going.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're
and they've done a major refresh.
Now they did do something. Yes, they did. That's true. Now they did do something where they have and we're running out of time here, but they did in this hour. But they did do something where they are going to offer a 4K.
Yeah.
For $12.99, I think it was. They would have a 4K offered for $12.99. Their iMac 4K.
Yes. So real quickly, iMac. We'll have to continue the second hour, but like just the basic iMac. It's going to use 7th gen Core Kaby Lake, which is an old. We already talked about that. The Fusion drive will be standard on 27-inch and on the high end 21.5-inch. They'll have faster SSDs and up to 2 terabytes on SSD, which is a good thing. USB-C, Thunderbolt 3, and of course, like you said, that 4K iMac model for $12.99. That's pretty good.
It is. That's in the neighborhood.
That's a very solid desktop Mac.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and then there's some upgrades to the notebooks. It's kind of. I won't go through all of them. You watch the video, but they're going to have a $12.99 13-inch MacBook Pro. I think that's a pretty good price point.
Right.
Directly competes with the Surface Book. Yes,
that's
Surface
correct.
Book, so
yeah.
And then the biggie, and maybe I can get to it in a minute or so, but is the iMac Pro. Basically, the Mac Pro trash can is gone.
Right.
This replaces the Mac Pro.
Right. And pretty much it's all. I mean, it's an all-in-one.
It's
that's all they're talking about.
It's the same. Think of a iMac,
right.
27-inch iMac, but it's in space gray, so it's nice and that slick. You got one of those iMac Pros, up to 18-core Xeon processor, up to 128 gigs of RAM, 10 gig Ethernet, 4 USB-C. The base model. Get ready. Are you sitting down? Good. Listeners, you sitting down? Good. $4,999. Base model. Coming December.
Yeah.
Start saving your money now, folks.
But they claim that base model is exactly similar to a $7,000 tricked out PC.
Well, we'll see.
That's what they claim.
When they come out, there'll be some people
doing tests on it.
Yeah, and we'll definitely talk about it come December.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah, and there's some more stuff, but we probably need to wait till the second hour because iOS 11. That's what people want to talk. People are more concerned about. How's it going to affect my iPhone? How's it going to affect my iPad?
Yeah, that's for sure.
So we'll kind of.
And that was the biggest swath of their discussion.
Oh yeah,
mobile was. I mean,
oh yeah,
and it always is. Which
that's their bread and butter business.
It is. It has become that, no doubt.
Yeah.
And that's a big fight for everyone they can get.
Yeah.
Every client they can get, every person they can sell this product to, no question about it. Everybody, it's a tight market in a way. No doubt about it. So, all right. Well, when we come back,
was it time? My clock's off.
We'll be moving on to something else.
I think our times are not syncing tonight. Sorry.
Something's not syncing, that's for sure, and it has to do with time, I'm sure. But we'll see. Mine might be off, and yours may be right.
We'll see.
Who knows? Well, I guess we're going to find out. Hey, Tiki Show.
You've listened this long, so stick around for our dose.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Barbara Klein. A nationwide manhunt is over. 2 inmates who shot and killed 2 Georgia prison guards and then escaped from a prisoner transport bus Tuesday are back in custody. They've been captured in Tennessee after a car chase. Doctors in Washington, D.C. say House Majority Whip Steve Scalise is still in critical condition but is improving. Scalise is one of 3 people hospitalized after a gunman opened fire at a baseball practice yesterday. The congressional charity game they were practicing for is now underway. Meanwhile, NPR's Don Gagne reports investigators are learning more about the attack.
The guns used in the shooting are a 7.62 caliber rifle and a 9mm handgun. Both weapons were owned by the man identified as the assailant, James Hodgkinson of Belleville, Illinois. Authorities say they've traced the recovered weapons' history and found no evidence they were acquired illegally. Each was purchased from a federally licensed dealer. The FBI statement reiterates there was one shooter. He died from wounds suffered when the police returned his fire. Investigators have also recovered a cell phone, computer, and camera from Hodgkinson's vehicle. Don Gagne, NPR News, Washington.
The State Department is calling on North Korea to release 3 Americans they're still holding. A University of Virginia student was freed earlier this week. NPR's Michelle Kellerman reports he's being treated for what his doctors say is a severe brain injury.
The State Department is giving some insight into the diplomacy that led to Otto Warmbier's medical evacuation. Spokesperson Heather Nauert says that Special Envoy Joseph Yoon had meetings in Oslo and in New York with North Korean officials. It was only last week that he learned about Warmbier's medical condition. Yoon then traveled with a team of U.S. doctors and managed to bring the UVA student home. Nauert is calling on North Korea to release other Americans.
I can confirm that Ambassador Yoon did make contact with the 3 Americans who are being held there. We are happy that he was able to make that contact.
She would not comment, though, on their condition. Michelle Kellerman, NPR News, Washington.
Crews in London have the grim task of going through the charred remains of a 24-story public housing tower that went up in flames early Wednesday morning. At least 17 are dead. London police are investigating whether any criminal activity was involved, and British Prime Minister Theresa May is ordering a government investigation.
People want answers, and it's absolutely right. And that's why I am today ordering a full public inquiry into this disaster. We need to know what happened. We need to have an explanation of this.
Residents say safety problems were reported but ignored. The blaze spread quickly. This is NPR. Sports shoes maker Nike. Technologic.
Crash it, change it, melt, upgrade it, charge it, point it, zoom it, press it, snap it, work it, quick erase it, write it, cut it, paste it, save it, load it, check it, quick rewrite it.
Welcome to the Hey Techie Show Hour.
Dose. I was ready for that.
Yes, you were.
I missed the hit to come back off NPR.
That's all right. We just don't have enough long enough break. That's the problem. Right?
Well,
we're trying to catch our breath.
I was sitting there relaxing. We're sitting here talking, and it's like, I couldn't get to it in time. I was trying to hit it, and it's complicated.
It's all good.
Sorry.
So if you want to be on the Hey Techie Show on this Thursday evening, 256-782.
5600.
And you can certainly be on, and we'd be glad to have you. Now, we were talking about WWDC, and we're going to get back to that in just a moment. But I wanted to mention along with this that related to what we're fixing to talk about, I didn't know if you knew this or saw this, but there is a report out about how that cell phones are taking viewership. They're leading in viewership of people that are actually watching most of their content on a cell phone.
Really?
Yes. And it's interesting because
the screen's so small.
Yeah, I know.
That's my first thought.
But there are people that I guess they're on the go so much, or they just I don't know. They just find that they like it. I mean,
and I will say this: I was on the plane flying back from a cruise, and I was using Delta Airlines, my favorite airline, but that's just my opinion. They have something called Delta Studio, and what that is you can watch videos through your device through the on plane Wi-Fi. There's no cost. This is included as part of your being a passenger. And I watched an episode of some show. I can't remember what it was, but one thing I had handy was my phone. I didn't want to pull my Surface out, so I just set my phone right there on the tray table and watched the episode. But I noticed I wasn't watching it that much because it was such a small screen.
Now
I was more listening to it.
I got you.
know.
Now an article in the New York Post, and I think this is like a couple of weeks ago. Actually, this is one of the articles I wanted to hang on to. Basically, what it's talking about, though, is that according to that shows across all networks have tumbled 30 to 40% from a year ago. And the idea is that viewers are turning to their mobile devices for entertainment.
Oh, it's entertainment.
Yeah, just entertainment.
Not consuming content necessarily.
But it could be entertainment in general or consuming content.
Well, consuming content's part of entertainment, but playing Candy Crush or Tetris or whatever the new game is, it ain't Pokemon Go, but yeah, it says, I can agree with that statement. It says
only 6 of 61 returning network shows final episode saw an uptick in ratings. Now, to me though, I'm not saying they're totally wrong about this, but I would say this: have they ever thought of maybe some of their content is not as good as it? I mean, maybe some people drop it because they can't stand the shows, or they just doesn't interest them. You know, like for instance, we watch some Netflix at my house, and a lot of some of what I watch are older shows that I can get on Netflix. Things that I remember as younger, because I enjoyed that show.
Yeah, like they don't make television like this anymore.
Well, not only maybe that, but some of the stuff I just can't. I mean, it's hard to watch.
And I agree with you, Michael, because there's a lot of shows now I can count on one hand what I watch currently. That's current running. But I've lost count of how many things I've enjoyed watching in the past. I know it's in the past, and it's a continuation or a concatenation, or that's not the right word. I'm using like technical terms here, but it's a culmination or a whatever of my life so far, what I've witnessed and experienced. But there's shows I really like, and you can only get them. It's those old shows,
right?
But the oldies but goodies.
But then there are some things on YouTube you could entertain yourself with watching. Like my son watches fishing videos. I mean, it's not for me, but he enjoys them.
Well, I'm going to tell you this: there's a lot of documentaries on YouTube, and I've got like a private playlist where I found ones, and I'll stick them in there. And I've got a bunch of them queued up in there, and if I want to watch one, if it's like I'm done for the evening, but I don't want to go to bed, so I'll get in the bed and I'll just turn it on. Have a smart TV.
So
I'll watch it on my television.
So I think part of the issue is there's no question that part of people are just wanting to use a device. That's all they use. Okay, so that's part of it, no doubt. But the other part I think could be as well is that, at least for some of the cord cutters, they just don't find TV interesting anymore. They don't find that the shows they don't like the shows, or it doesn't speak to them, or that they can find something that's just as entertaining elsewhere or more entertaining in another product.
Yeah.
I think there is a segment that they may not be getting and understanding.
And here's the thing, too. Part of it's entertainment, social media.
Yeah, that's true.
People use that to entertain themselves.
You know,
entertainment's a broad category. It's more than just watching streaming video or watching video or watching a show or a movie. So it's a lot wider gamut.
So you take this and you tie it into what we were talking about with what we're going to cover with iOS.
Yeah.
The iOS update. You can understand completely why, besides the fact of the bottom line for Apple, why the swath of this covered a huge section of what they're doing with iOS.
Mobile's huge for them. That's their bread and butter. I said that before the break.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, they're going to spend a lot of time talking about that. And, I mean, this is a developers conference.
Right.
I guarantee you majority of those developers there develop on mobile.
Right. Exactly right. And that's what they're there for.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some of them are interested in the Mac side, obviously, but I'm talking about the Mac OS side their Mac device side, but they're mostly interested.
It's probably 90% iOS developers.
Right.
And the other 10 is Mac OS and tvOS exclusively.
You may be going to bring this up, but I'll just shoot this out there. They did show I did watch it. They did show an interesting AR with a Mac iPad. It was and they had a game.
Yeah, I saw that
where they battled. It was like a space game.
Oh, I didn't see that. I saw they laid the stuff on the table.
Yes, but they did a game where they brought in this. You could play it, and they would do. It was almost like
that went on my 18-minute video I watched.
Well, they did cut that out because it was very interesting.
Well,
it was.
I didn't have only 18 minutes.
It was interesting because it was similar to that. You've probably seen those advertised, and I can't think. Strike 4, Strike something. Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah, Mobile Strike.
Mobile Strike.
Download and play now free in the App Store.
That's it. Yeah, well, you got that down good. It is very similar to that, I think. I've never played that game, but that was what it was basically. But it was like they were flying. Like you could see the audience in the background.
Oh, wow.
Everything was built up, say, like on this table here. The way they had it built, they were attacking.
It's like the ultimate board game.
Yes, they were attacking a settlement, an outpost.
But you're looking,
and the settlement was on this table.
But you're looking through your iPad.
Yes, you're looking through your iPad.
Wow.
So it was AR.
That's pretty cool.
It was pretty interesting. It was very interesting. I mean, it was
not VR.
Not VR, not virtual reality. It was augmented reality.
Yeah. Speaking of that, I saw Microsoft Store had while I was on vacation, they had their VR setup demo in the front of the store, but it was a race car simulator. They had some sort of with the race controls and the pedals and all that, but with the VR goggles.
Yeah.
I didn't have time. I would have went and experienced it, but I didn't have time. I just was in passing. But anyway, I mentioned VR.
Correct, right. But now they came out, and he talked about, Tim Cook did. Of course, they brought others out. He talked about iOS.
Yeah, and iOS, the next, of course, release, iOS 11.
Man. So up to 11. Remember, this all began in 2007.
I know, it's crazy.
And now it's 10 years later. We're up to 11.
I mean, they've done one. They've done one a year. This is for 2018.
Right.
So a couple of key things that I took away from, and there's probably more, but the Messages app, the iMessage. This is something that's been needed for a long time. All your conversations sync across all your devices.
Yes.
So if you do something on your iPhone with iMessage, the whole conversation will be on your iPad and vice versa.
And if you're a guy and your wife or your girlfriend picks up your iPad and you have something on there, you were talking to somebody else, they're and they log in, they're going to see it. So there you go.
I bet there's a way to turn that off.
Look, I just think about things like this because people have gotten in trouble. That's sort of how our famous governor got in trouble.
Oh yeah,
similar issues.
So another thing they also mentioned was with Apple Pay. They're going. This was rumored. We called. We called this several. Probably months ago, we had a rumor about this, but Apple Pay person-to-person payments.
Right, but the funny thing about this is not new. I mean, this has been new to Apple in this.
Yes,
but this has
it's
been
not a new
on.
concept.
It's not a new concept.
I mean, PayPal's been around for forever, not forever.
Plus, Android devices have been able to do this a long time.
Yeah, I know, but they're going to integrate it with iMessage,
correct.
with the Messages app, and I'm not sure how Android implements it.
I think you could do that at one time.
Okay.
I don't know if you still can.
Probably
I've never done it. I don't know. I've never done it.
Anyway,
but I think you can do it.
So it's coming to Apple, so you'll be able to send money to people like with Apple Pay.
Yeah.
So the full details, they may have went into it more, but that's what I got out of my little quick 18-minute video I watched. That's what I watched, this 18-minute video, folks. I didn't watch the whole thing. Sorry. I know you're disappointed, Michael.
No,
Okay.
I haven't said a word about being disappointed.
And of course, there's more talk about Siri. Woo, Siri, woo.
Seriously, he's not.
Somebody's listening with their headphones, like, God, he's blowing my eardrums out. I'm sorry. I apologize.
It was like that.
Woo!
Yes, it was.
So, I want to put my hands over time.
Yeah, it was. Oh my!
So something about translation with Siri.
Yes,
where you could speak to Siri and it would translate it in another language.
That's correct. And it would, like, for instance, if you wanted to talk to someone else in a language, you would speak and it would translate.
And that would be cool though. Like if I was when I was on the cruise, if I had internet, if I wanted to say thank you to the person serving me in their foreign tongue, because a lot of these people are not
right.
They're not native to United States.
I get it. They're not Native Americans.
They're not Native American either. There was, I think I interacted with one or two that were from the United States. Their name tag had their country.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the hotel director, the hotel director, I said he was from Croatia.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them from the Philippines. So it'd be cool to be able to learn how to say thank you or have a nice day in Filipino.
Right.
You could do this with Siri now.
Right.
You just have to have internet connection, obviously. I guess you could practice before you went on the cruise.
Sure.
Anyway, so you got that coming with Siri. On-device learning is something new with Siri where it can suggest topics. It can be synced across your devices, but it's kept secret only to you. They made sure to put that in there. Because, like, you see device learning and trying to learn your habits, like, what are they going to do with my data? Right. But they promise that, it's encrypted and only you have the key.
Exactly.
They probably have it stored and they're transmitting it to your devices, but they have no way of getting to it. They say. We have to take their word on it. And Apple, I think they're pretty trustworthy in regard to security.
Yeah. Okay. As far as I know.
Yeah. You don't sound too confident.
Well, I don't. I mean, we don't have any.
Yeah.
We'll have to go with it.
Moving on, we could talk about that for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Especially if Bruce was
security was here.
Yeah.
We're missing our security tonight.
Of course, improved image quality with the camera app. If you have a device with 2 cameras, which is currently I think the iPhone 7 Plus is the only one that supports this, but it's going to have a depth API, which will be available to developers, where it can sense depth, and you can use that in your applications. And I'm not sure how it would work in the camera app. They used an example.
They did,
but I don't remember the exact details. One thing they're doing too is the control center, which is what you swap.
Yes, it's going to be updated. It's going to have more.
Yeah. I think that's control center.
Yes, but it's going to have more things, and it'll have where you can press harder with the 3D touch and have more options.
Yeah, I think this is long overdue, in my opinion, because they just kind of kept adding to it and adding to it and adding to it, and now they're going to they're kind of starting over, which I think is a good thing. Now I don't have 3D touch on my device, but the 3D touch is cool because I've used it before.
Right.
Excuse me. Here's one that's very interesting. I didn't see coming, which is one that should be coming, and I guess we'll go ahead. Okay, is do not disturb while driving. It'll be able to tell that you're driving, and not just that you got in your car, but like it'll be able to tell if you're moving down the road, because you'll pass wireless access points, all different things it can take from input, knowing you're in motion.
And it blanks your phone.
Yeah, it's a whole new interface.
Yes, a whole new interface is a blank phone. And when we come back.
I got some commentary about that, but we'll do it after.
We'll have Guru's commentary about that.
Yeah.
And the rest of what we're going to discuss. So the Hey Techie Show shall return.
No representation is made that the opinions of hosts here are better than those of the average tech show, but we think so.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
Welcome back to the Hey Techies Show.
Well, there's plenty of clouds in the sky tonight, unfortunately.
Yes, quite rainy out this way. Matter of fact, the power went out twice during orientation tonight.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we are having orientations this week. We had some last week, and this time of the year, that's what we do here.
That's right,
at the
welcoming
university.
our new students to campus.
That's right. Showing them, incorporating them into the JSU way, if you will.
Why do you laugh?
Well, no, I'm not being facetious. I'm just saying, it can be arduous for a student and a parent.
It is.
And I did run into.
It
I did talk to a student today where the dad. I'm assuming. You never know about these things, but I said, well, it's a long day. He said, it is, but it's been a good day. So they were
That's
were
good.
optimistic about
and
child coming
and
here.
I will say this, the whole orientation program that they put on here is top notch.
Yes.
Those folks do a very good job.
Yeah, it's very well done, no question about it, and it's very organized from all I can ever tell. They've been, they've had the same people doing it a while.
Yeah,
so
they have.
Time
So
to really iron out the problems.
So if you see anybody at these events that are running these orientations, just tell them thank you.
Yeah,
a lot of it's run by students.
Yeah,
that
that's
volunteer their time.
That's true.
It's the upper class men and women.
Yeah, and they have a Go team that are students and mentors, which are faculty members.
Yeah.
And they sign up for this program. So
yep, it's pretty cool.
But anyway, so back to
about the do not disturb. Kind of teased that before the break. So I think what it's going to do the first time it detects that you had been driving, when you get to your destination, it'll say, "Hey, do you want me to turn this on?"
Right.
It's sort of automatically do it in the future. So you
Correct.
kind of have you have the choice.
Right.
And there's probably a way to disable it if you're in the passenger seat.
There was. I'm not driving.
Yeah.
There's a thing you can click.
But it seems to me, me and Mike were talking. I was trying to get my facts together, but we'll talk about it here on air live. I'm thinking what Android has some sort of drive. They have a driving mode, correct?
It is something, and I think
so. This is not totally
and
new.
I actually think different phone companies handle it different ways. It's not the same. So
yeah, because the different manufacturers can put their own little spin on it.
Well, like I can tell Google, my phone, speaking to it, if I have that set up, I can say,
"Okay, Google."
I can say, "Talk to me." Okay.
Okay.
And it will say, "Okay, I'll talk to you for the next 30 minutes. I'll announce everything that comes into the phone."
Okay.
So I don't have to touch the phone or even look at the phone.
So if I start sending you text messages,
correct, it would say,
text
and
message
then
from
I could actually verbally reply.
Okay. All right. Well, I think Apple's taking it a step further, which I know seems like we always joke on Apple because they're always just catching up and copying somebody else's or copying an app.
Yeah, well,
but they've taken this
to both sides.
It does, but they've taken this to the next level. Like your phone, you can't use it. It's not going to distract you at all.
Yeah, it's going to be a blank screen.
When I'm wondering too, you probably won't get anything to your watch if you're wearing an Apple Watch.
Possible.
Well, we'll see once the betas come out and this stuff starts coming out. And I mean, when I get it, I can try it. But I think it's a good thing because not just texting while driving, but being distracted while driving.
Yes.
And you can even get distracted if your phone rings, depending on the situation. But we have these smart watches now, and the stuff comes on our watch. You're still glancing down and look at that like I just looked at the time. So I think this is a good move. So I applaud Apple for this, and this is something I didn't see coming. I just didn't think it would be on their radar, but it is. So that's good. So bravo to Apple.
Right.
So moving on, there's two other. We already talked about AR, and excuse me, I'm recovering from a cold. They're gonna have some way with they're adding to the HomeKit where it can do speakers.
Okay.
And using AirPlay 2, which I'm not really familiar with HomeKit, but apparently you can use speakers with HomeKit now, supposedly.
Yes.
So good bit of information. There may be more there. But that was what, number Was that number? Okay, let's see. Oh, there's more. There's more. That's iOS. I got more. So they announced new hardware for the mobile side too.
Right.
And we talked about this a few weeks ago. The rumor of a iPad Pro with a larger screen, but in the same form factor. That is true.
Yes.
There's a new 10.5-inch Retina display iPad Pro.
Right.
It's in that same form factor of the 9-point-something inch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's big enough now. It has a full-size on-screen keyboard, full-size smart keyboard. Has 120 hertz refresh rate, which is double compared to the previous iPad Pro, 60 hertz or 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
Which that's remarkable.
They did a lot during this whole thing about upgrading video on their systems, video.
I want to see one of these. I want to see one of these iPad Pros in action with actual video rolling on it, just to see how crisp it is with that 120 hertz refresh rate.
Matter of fact, they said it was so crisp they couldn't really show it because what you're watching on and the projectors could not duplicate.
I can believe it. When they come out, I'm gonna go see one in the Apple Store. I have to make a trip over to the Apple Store for y'all.
Right.
New A10X CPU. It's got 6 cores and 12 cores on the GPU. So again, emphasis on the GPU, graphics. 10-hour battery. Has the same camera the iPhone 7 has.
Yeah,
so
I saw
they upgraded
that.
the camera. And it's going to start at $649.
Right.
So that's pretty good, I think, for what you're
Yeah.
getting. And if you want the 12-inch display model, same specs, but in a 12-inch display, which is the larger iPad Pro, for $799.
Right.
So I can't remember. I think the price was more for the 12-inch before. So the prices have come down.
Yeah, they dropped the price
and
a
it's
little bit on
significant increase on what you're getting.
And actually, they dropped the price on their. We didn't mention this much, but they dropped some of the prices on their iMacs.
They did. Yeah, there was several times where they made emphasis of that.
Yeah.
The prices dropped.
Right.
So that's a good thing for consumers.
Well, yeah. I mean, they've waited 6 months to get new chipsets in there, so yeah, that should drop a little bit.
Yeah.
7 months.
Oh, Michael.
Well, I got to put it in there. I mean, it's fact.
And they did talk about for iOS. I've got this section of iOS for iPad, which is some iOS features that are specific to the iPad. There's going to be a new dock.
Yeah.
Which is kind of different because the dock is available from anywhere within apps. You can kind of swipe up to pull the dock up, kind of like how macOS has.
Yes, that is right. The new dock can add more than it used to add.
Oh, yeah, a lot more.
You can fill it up.
Yeah,
just about.
fill it up. Fill it up, baby. So I thought that was interesting. You know, they're going to have a drag and drop feature.
Yes, they cover a lot of more drag and drop features.
Yeah, so getting more where it's a lot more flexibility than in the previous iPads. So this is good. This is good for that hardware.
Right.
Because there's so many competing platforms now. Now Microsoft's getting in the game with the Surfaces and stuff. There's a new app going to be called Files. That's, very original.
You know them and their originality.
Where you can, it's almost like Finder, but not like a full Finder like you would have on Mac OS. But you can view files from all your apps on your device, and it supports third-party apps like Drive, Google Drive, Dropbox, OneDrive, stuff like that. So I thought that's interesting. So you've kind of got all your files in one place.
Yep.
That's
all they lack is a mouse pointer, and they're going to have what they're wanting.
Yeah, you have a MacBook.
Yeah. I mean, in general.
And there was some updates. There's a new app called Markup, or maybe it's a feature.
Yeah,
with the iPad Pro and an Apple Pencil.
Right.
Where you can notes. I said you can notes.
It's like a glorified notes.
Yeah.
You can mark up things.
It's got searchable handwriting too. So if you do handwriting, it's going to have some sort of an AI engine to try to figure out what the words are. Mm-hmm. Inline drawing in notes. I mean, it's a glorified notes app.
Yeah.
But it's for the iPad Pro and the Apple Pencil.
Right.
And that whole iOS thing is coming out in the fall. Free upgrade. Didn't say what devices will support, but we'll see. Usually with iOS, 1 or 2 of the old ones get left behind, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, free upgrade this fall. Yeah. iOS 11. So, woo! iOS 11! Yay! Yeah. Let's see, pull up my cheer little sound clip.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
It sounds very go. Woo!
I have to get that sound clip off sometime when I get time, and we're gonna have that as one of our sound clips.
That would be a good one, especially when Bruce gets the This Week in Tech History right. So
yeah. That's true.
Excuse me. So they always have one more thing.
Oh yeah, they
we
did
at number
one more thing.
If we're not at number 6, this is number 6. I think I combined some stuff in there. But anyway, we're at the last thing. Is the HomePod.
Yes.
This speaker.
Yes.
The iSpeaker, the iHome, whatever you want to call this thing.
Yes.
They're calling it HomePod. It's a 7-inch tall. It's got all this great acoustical properties that they went on to all that like a.
Oh yeah, they talked it up. Of
Woo!
course,
It's fantastic. You know,
$349 for this thing.
I know. It has an A8 chip, so a couple generation iOS device chip, which is for a speaker is pretty remarkable. But it uses Siri and it's a home assistant. You know, it's a HomeKit base built in. So if you have HomeKit devices, this is a base station for your HomeKit devices, where you can use your other Apple mobile devices to communicate to it. But yeah, go ahead. But
the big thing that they really sort of shined on is its sound. It was, and
it's an excellent speaker.
Well, the thing that I noted, it has acoustical presence. Basically, spatial presence. Sorry, it could figure out over time what the room was like it was in, and tune itself to the room for the best.
It has like 15 microphones in it.
Yeah. I think it's 7. And then they said that if you put 2 of them in a room and you could connect them together, it's even much better.
Woo! Yeah. I'm sorry,
but
that's
it really was like that.
That's gonna be like our new joke. We get excited.
It really is no joke. If you get to go watch it, and you really should sometime, just a little bit.
I will. Now I'll laugh very uncontrollably.
It was big all the time. But anyway.
But go back. It's going to be available in December in white or space gray.
Yes,
$349. Yeah. That's a lot of money.
Well, you know the way they brought that up is that they said that they either have a smart product like this, okay, that doesn't have very good speakers, and they use the Amazon product as the example. Okay, that's what they claimed.
I don't have one, so I don't know how good the audio is.
Or they have a smart speaker that's not very smart, but has good speakers.
Well, they've already tried that.
Right.
They had that thing that I forgot what they called it. It's been many years.
So they were saying this was, and they gave the prices of what around you would find those, and that this was in between those prices, basically. This was dead in the middle of something.
I wonder what a Bose Wave radio costs these days.
Well, it's probably not as much as it used to be. Of course, it's changed some. I don't know, but it was.
I'm just hoping. You keep going.
But anyway, I thought was fascinating to me is that from all I could tell, from all I could understand and think about,
a Bose Wave radio costs the same amount of money.
$349,
and that's kind of like if you think of like something,
but it has no real smarts to it. I mean, it's not going to talk to. So the big thing that to me.
But I think of that as kind of the creme de la creme of like, if you want something consumer,
right?
You know, audio. You don't want a big system. You want something small,
right?
That's kind of like the cream of the crop.
Right.
The
but the thing to me that was fascinating, that I thought was most interesting, is that it's tied to Apple Music. If you want to play music through it. Now, it may be the case where you could. I don't remember because it's been.
The old speaker was called Apple iPod Hi-Fi.
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry, that's kind of like squirrel over there, but
no, that's all right.
That was bothering me. Go ahead.
Oh man, This Week in Tech History is coming up a little bit later, and I will not make it through it. I promise you.
I'm getting excited.
This will be embarrassing. Oh, very embarrassing.
Maybe Bruce will call in and we'll let.
Oh, please.
You'll be off the hook.
He's not calling.
You never know.
You must be dreaming. He's away. Leave him alone. Anyway, my point is that Apple Music.
Yeah.
It looked like to me it was going to have to use Apple Music to play music. You would have to have a subscription.
Or it would probably what you had like on iTunes, like downloaded music.
I really didn't follow it that way.
I want to know more about this thing.
I mean, they did, and I think there's going to be more to come. They almost glossed over it in a way, but they did give a lot of the features and a lot of the the high tech features, about all the I think it's got like 7 tweeters in it and a subwoofer, something like that. I know there was 7 microphones or maybe 7 tweeters.
It was fantastic.
Oh yes, it was. It was fantastic. There's no doubt about it. Literally, I know we're joking, but we're not joking. That really was how it was watching it.
I believe you.
Whew,
I want to go back and watch it now just to see that.
Oh,
that got cut out of the 18 minutes.
Yeah, well, of course. It would have been 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then some of their ramblings. But and they did. There was a few demos along the way. A few companies did some demos.
They used to always bring in companies to show off some new cool thing they've been working with.
A part of that, if I got this right, one of them was based on, had something to do with Industrial Light and Magic. Was part of that AR stuff.
Isn't that kind of isn't that part of?
Yeah, it's part of Disney now, I guess technically.
That's what I thought. And since
it was part of Skywalker Sound, and from what I understand, Industrial Light and Magic, it was part of the thing that. What's his name?
Jobs.
No, not Jobs. No,
I thought
the
he
Star Wars guy owned Industrial Light and Magic.
Lucas.
Yeah, Lucas. It was part of Lucas Films.
I thought Apple owned them.
Well, no.
Yet.
Industrial Light and Magic now, I guess, would be on. I assume that got sold. When they bought out, when Disney bought all that out.
Yeah, let's just see. Let's see what Wikipedia says. Industrial Light and Magic. Let's see.
I don't know if that was part of the deal. I don't
Parent Lucasfilm, Walt Disney Company.
Yeah, okay. That was. Yeah, it's Parent Lucasfilm. So, yeah, it was all bought out at the same time.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So I was right. I knew it was.
Hey, you're right.
Hey, we have something on here. I'll give you a second to bring up. I thought we'd go ahead and probably try to get this.
Yeah.
Since we don't really have rumors.
No,
you
rumor mill's empty.
You got something on the hack of the week.
Oh, do I? What is it?
Yeah, you had something like the dumbest passwords people still use.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can find that. Where'd it go?
It's down at the bottom. Oh. Near the bottom.
Near the bottom. I wish I'd have been prepared.
Hack of the week.
Oh, hack of the week. Oh,
that's what I'm talking about. All the way at the bottom.
That's right. I put it there.
Yeah, you put it there.
Because Bruce isn't here. This is sort of a hack of the week. It's not really a hack, but this was an article I came across from ZDNet. Y'all remember those folks?
Oh, yeah.
It's not displaying right. Let me make it bigger. Okay. The dumbest passwords people still use. There's 21 of them here. I was going to go through a couple of them. So apparently this was, we asked network security experts, this is ZDNet, to tell us which passwords Americans just can't stop using right now, even though they should. So here's a list of some of those. Let me get, it's one of these things you got to click through. I can't stand those. Star Wars.
People use the password Star Wars.
Yeah.
You're kidding.
No. I'm just talking about Lucasfilm.
What?
My Noob. MYNOOB from World of Warcraft, apparently.
Seriously?
Yeah. Here's a good one. Another Star Wars reference. UT4 Luke. Use the Force, Luke. UT4.
Oh, really? Luke. That's a real password people would use.
An attacker will guess this in minutes. Said as Carnegie Mellon School of Computer Science. Person he's from that school. Anything that has a common pattern is easily breakable. Superman. It's another one.
Nobody uses.
God, man, I clicked that. Anyway, this thing's not scrolling right. So this guy, I can't pronounce his name. He's the co-founder of cybersecurity startup group Preempt. His team created a list of categories for most common passwords. There's seeing, and a big one was fictional characters, and of course, Superman being one of those people. Excuse me.
Interesting. Rental 148.
Yeah, Rental 148.
Yeah, that's from the movie, the Broadway Rent.
Yeah, I don't know much about it. I've heard of that show, but it's apparently whatever. At least it ain't password or 1 2 3 4. I guess we've got.
Well, I guess it's a little better than that. I suppose.
So Chris Brown is another one.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, who would get? Actually, I'm actually thinking that might actually be a good one. Who would guess that? Oh, who would guess this one?
But this one security expert said it's too frequently used and it's easy to crack.
Well, of course, it's ridiculous. I mean, no one would use this next one.
Your mom.
Who would use that? I better quit. Somebody might call here and get mad. Hey, that's my password. Why are you making fun of my password?
If this is one of your passwords, please change your password.
Yeah, and don't call us and tell us over the air.
I agree with this password, but not as a password. My mom is number one. My mom is number one.
My goodness.
But don't use that as your password, please.
Really?
If that's your password, change it. Stop what you're doing and change it, please.
007 Bond.
or 007 Goldfinger.
Goldfinger. Or Bond Girls. Oh, you could, there could be a million of those.
Whatever your cat's name is. Fluffy, Spot.
Well,
don't
maybe people's cats might be worthy of password.
If it's like if it's 128-bit hexadecimal.
That's right. What is your cat's name?
Go to the GRC perfect password.
Yes.
You name your cat that.
Yeah.
Then you're good.
Then you're good. Yeah. Right.
Here's one it's near and dear to my heart, but don't use it as your password. NCC 1701D.
Yes.
As in, it's a reference to Star Trek.
Yeah. Yes.
But it also says here the call letters to the new Discovery, which is the new Star Trek series. NCC 1031 probably ain't much better either. Yeah, I guess under my skin because that's streaming. No, you have to pay
now
extra for
this
that.
would not surprise me at all. Princess, that would not surprise me.
You don't use Princess.
Oh yeah, everybody does.
You may think you're a princess, and that's great and wonderful. And I'm not debating that with you. Just don't use it as your password. We're talking about passwords here, folks.
Look, this is getting sick. Patriots, seriously. Yeah. SpongeBob.
SpongeBob SquarePants. He lived
Batman.
He lived in a pineapple up under
Somebody
the sea.
uses the password Batman. I mean, I guess if you just ran.
Justin Bieber.
Well, now there's a lot of reasons not to use that one. Although people might not guess that one.
I would never use it.
Now this one might not be. It's just probably used too much.
What, the to be or not to be?
Yeah,
with the number 2.
To be or not to.
Well,
be.
it's got numbers.
It's got numbers.
It should be secure, right?
No, it's not secure, but
what if
it's a little bit better than password.
What if I put like a hashtag at the beginning?
You could, yeah.
Make it more
make
secure.
it a hash, yeah.
Hashtag,
yeah. To be or not to be. Yes.
I don't get this other one, killer. It's the next one.
I guess that's one.
At least it's got a capital K.
Yeah, that does a lot for
it.
That's a real dragon. Oh yes. And then last, of course, Hello Kitty. Shocking.
Yeah,
shocking.
Gotta change your password now, Michael. Can't use Hello Kitty anymore. Sorry.
Right. Well, when we come back, we will spend some time embarrassing Michael.
No, I'm hoping Bruce is going to call. I asked him to call in, but he hasn't answered my message
He is
yet.
not calling. He's busy. Embarrass Michael moment coming up next. Hey, Techies Show.
HeyTechiesShow.com. Open 24/7, as long as we don't forget to pay the bill.
Gamecock Outfitters, located on the square at 109 Ladica Street in Jacksonville, provides customers with outdoor apparel and gear. Gamecock Outfitters is able to help you find exactly what you need for every outdoor adventure. Gamecock Outfitters is open Tuesday through Friday from 10 o'clock to 5:30 and Saturday from 10 o'clock to 5 o'clock. For additional information, contact them at 256-435-2008 or check out their website at GadsdenOutfitters.com.
You're listening to the Hey Techies Show on WLJS Jacksonville.
I got my first real 6-string, bought it at the 5 and dime.
Welcome back to Hey Techies Show. Was that the possible date?
No.
The summer of '69 that you're going to
I picked the song before I figured out that This Week in Tech History.
Oh, that would have been a good hint.
It would have been. I'll have to remember that for another time.
Sure, for another time.
I thought it would be a good song because it's summertime and it is hot as everything. Not hot as everything, but it feels like it.
Oh, gracious day.
Gracious is a gracious
Well,
day.
we take this time to turn the show over to what would normally be Bruce trying to guess.
Yeah, Bruce is not here.
Beat his brain to guess what this week in tech history might be. And it is left to me, once again, holding the bag. But it won't be next week.
No.
So I'm just telling everybody, enjoy this week.
We can guarantee it won't be on Michael next week.
That's right. It won't be on Michael next week. So, with no further ado, this week in tech history with the guru.
All right. So you ready for your date, Michael?
Yes.
You sure?
No.
I wasn't expecting you to say that. All right. You better be ready. Here it comes. June 11th, 1978.
78? Good grief. People barely
have a music this week.
Music to go along with it.
No, I couldn't play this 2 weeks ago.
Oh, that's true. 78. I was barely even. What day? What?
June 11th.
June 11th. I wasn't quite 4. 78. No, 6. I was almost
Jimmy
6.
Carter was the president of the United States.
Yes. This is so.
And that's not the answer either. The answer is not Jimmy Carter.
78. Did it have anything to do with a speaking spell?
Oh my gosh, you got it right.
Really?
Yes.
You're kidding.
Man, Michael, you're
Well, I didn't embarrass myself.
You pulled a Bruce and just pulled that out of thin air.
I did. Speaking spell.
So I never thought you'd guess this.
It was speaking spell.
Yes, Texas Instruments introduces the speaking spell on June 11th of 1978.
Wow.
And in case you don't know what that is, I know some of our younger audience like, what's a speaking spell? Is that an app? No, it's not. It was a talking educational toy for children. The device featured the first electronic duplication of the human voice on a single chip of silicon. It transformed the digital information processed through a filter into synthetic speech and could store more than 100 seconds of linguistic sounds. Very bleeding edge for 1978.
Wow.
And you guessed it.
I did.
I wish I had a speaking spell.
It was a total guess, I can tell you that. A speaking spell is a prize.
Yeah.
Probably couldn't hardly. Well, yeah, I guess you'd probably still find one.
Yeah. Anyway.
Probably still find
Congratulations, Michael. Bravo.
Well, let's not take it too far.
Hey, you know what? I got the best prize for you.
Yeah.
Just take next week off.
Yeah. In a day, I plan on doing that. I have one more day of work this week. So anyway, there you go, folks. Speaking spell, 1978.
And Michael guessed it.
And I did not have one when I was almost 6 years old. But I don't even remember ever having one. We had something similar, but I don't know if it's speaking spell.
Man, I wish Bruce would call in now because I'd love to try to quiz him with that. It'd be cool if we do like a. It's kind of like these game shows where you're like in a soundproof booth and like somebody has to guess it and then they bring the other person out and you got to guess it.
Yeah. Soundproof booth.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. How about this?
How about what?
From BusinessInsider.com, this robot-powered restaurant is one step closer to putting fast food workers out of a job. Apparently, in 2012, Momentum Machines, they debuted a robot that would crank out 400 made-to-order hamburgers in an hour.
Wow. So
a San Francisco company plans on having this debuted at what I think is called a San Francisco south of located
while you're thinking about that, there's
it's going to be located in San
Francisco. There's some cruise ships. I don't know which ones, but they have a robotic bartender.
Yeah, a robotic bartender.
Yeah, it'll make drinks for you.
Yes, we've talked about that on the show.
Have we? Okay.
But this here says also, along with this, by the way, San Francisco politicians have considered a robot tax.
Oh.
To help offset the economic devastation that a robotic workforce might bring.
So they're going to tax like stuff that's,
when people are out of work.
But so they're going to give it to where's the money going to go?
See, I didn't read that one. I just left that alone. I don't want to make myself angry.
Yeah, I'm gonna skip this. I'm gonna skip discussing this because I'm gonna get mad.
It says
too.
although momentum machines eliminates the need for line cooks, front of house custodial staff will likely still be required.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
okay. So this place looks like it says 680 Folsom is apparently the restaurant. I just had to go all the way down to the bottom of the article to find that out. This is what it quotes. Let's see. The burgers sold at 680 Folsom will be fresh ground and grilled to order. Served on toasted brochet, I think it is. Why do you pronounce it? It's not that. Brioche. I've heard it pronounced. I always pronounce that
Broach.
I don't know. It's not it.
Brioche. I don't know.
It's not that either. It's no big deal.
Don't ask me to pronounce stuff. I butcher it. I'm not good at public speaking. Or public math or most things public.
Okay.
I'm being silly at this point. It's late in the show.
No kidding. So anyway.
I got one
Go
for
ahead.
you since you had one. I wish I had it pulled up though. It got shifted in the stack.
That's my fault, I'm sure.
Yeah, well, that's okay. I found
it really is.
So this is something you'll really, really, really enjoy. So Walmart is going to train up to 150,000 employees through virtual reality every year. That's your favorite thing in the world, virtual reality, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
So apparently Walmart is taking the whole VR stuff to what if you read anything in the news, I've followed it some, is Walmart has built these what's called Walmart Academies.
Mm-hmm.
And they're still building them across the country, and they're using it to train their employees to be able to serve the customers better. So they're investing a lot in training of their employees, which is good. But they're actually going to use VR. If I can find the place in the article, they plan to enable VR instruction in all of its 200 academy training centers across the U.S. The goal is to make technology available in all these locations by the end of 2017. Employees will use VR to receive management and customer service training going forward. It's quite an interesting decision, to say the least. That's what the article said. And I agree. I mean, it's interesting. And I saw a video that Walmart put out that was showing this kind of in the classroom. And basically the person that was using the VR, like they were in a store and they could move around in the store. And I guess it's more like a scenario type of training. So they could learn, what to do, what not to do, but be immersed in that environment as being in the store working.
Right.
But it be in a controlled kind of training environment, which, the stuff's starting to get more and more prevalent. And if Walmart's doing it, we'll see who else who will follow suit. But Walmart's getting quite bleeding edge on some things. They really are investing a lot in different things, and now they're investing a lot in VR for training.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah. Did you know that vintage typewriters are gaining fans?
Really?
Vintage typewriters.
What, the old one with the little hammer that comes up and hits the paper?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Apparently,
what about the old IBM Selectrics?
Apparently, a quote from this article from APnews.com. This person, John Lewis, says, I haven't seen business like this in years. He's a typewriter repairman. He operates out of an Albuquerque shop. There's definitely new interest, and it's keeping me very busy. Apparently, there's a thing called type-ins.
Type-ins?
Yeah, they're at bars.
Really?
In different places, like, and so they have these old typewriters. We can bring these old typewriters, and you can type on them.
Huh.
And they type poetry and read it off, Let's see.
Going old school, for sure. I would have never guessed that.
Moonichi, New Jersey-based Swing Tech, appears to be one of the last typewriter makers selling translucent electronic machines largely to jails and prisons. But operators of thrift stores and estate sales say typewriters are some of the quickest items to go.
I can understand, like in prisons, because you don't want to limit their access to technology depending on what they're in for.
This one person
but
said,
just in general, like I wasn't thinking in the state sale. Anyway,
in a film apparently that was done about this, I can't believe there's a film.
Of course, there's a film for everything.
There's a man.
There's a film in this show.
Is called Hanks. He said, "I hate getting email thank yous from folks. Now, if they take 70 seconds to type me out something on a piece of paper and send it to me, well, I'll keep that forever. I'll just delete that email." Seriously? That's what email's for? Anyway.
Oh, I got to come up with something else.
No, you don't have to.
Let's see. Did I have something else? Just as a reminder, HeyTechiesShow.com. Show notes will be there, all these links. I'm working on it as we speak. You can watch the whole WWDC video. All 2 hours of it and every woo!
By the way, this week Microsoft had to bring back patches again for Windows XP.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. And likely most of it has to do with the continuing situation that they're having with WannaCry. So they apparently there's like a half a dozen or a dozen updates. I mean, I don't have a box now that runs XP, so I haven't noticed it. But
yeah.
So XP.
So I got one more thing. You mentioned this earlier to me because you saw I put it in there, but Google is turning Drive into a more robust backup tool. So coming supposedly June the 28th, there'll be a new app called Backup and Sync from Google. And it sounds, this is according to the Verge article, it sounds like the app will replace both the standard Google Drive app and the Google Photos Backup app, at least in some cases it says. Google is recommending that regular customers download the new app once it's out, but says business users should stick with the existing Drive app for now. And, of course, this will probably more than likely count towards your cap, whatever cap you've got, 15 gigs if you have a free account or if you pay for more. But we'll see. I mean, it's very unclear what you'll be able to do with it. Is it going to sync like Google Drive and sync across machines, or is it just a backup, or what? And it may just be trying to consolidate app functionality into one thing to where it's one thing to maintain. We'll see, but let's be looking for it June 28th, according to this article from The Verge.
Did you know that a person who has been accused of posting Deadpool, there's actually a Deadpool 2 apparently coming out, posted to Facebook in around February 2016. Apparently, he's been alleged and now is accused of doing that and faces 3 years in prison. That, according to this, that movie was watched 5 million times in the 2 days on Facebook before it's taken down. 5 million times.
That's crazy.
That's what I thought.
In 2 days.
In 2 days.
Wow. I never
Even I can do that public math.
Yeah, I can do it. That's 2.5 million per day on average.
In 2 days.
Yeah.
5 million, yeah.
Yeah. I
know.
You had me doubting my public math.
I was just kidding.
Michael.
Oh, by the way, just as a side, did you know this, Guru? I bet you know this. They're saying that a report's out that teen use of e-cigarettes is down.
Oh, teen
use? Yeah, they're saying that. Now I don't know.
What's the reason they think?
Well, I don't know if we're gonna have time enough to delve into it, but according to this article, it says that
e-cigarettes now tech.
Sure it is. Okay. High school students' e-cig dropped from 3 million in 2015 to 2.2 million in 2016.
Well, that's pretty good.
It also says that the tobacco use in general has dropped from 4.7 million in 2015 to 3.9 million in 2016.
That's good too. But I'll just say this. I mean, I don't consume cigarettes, thank goodness, or e-cigarettes, but I think one day something's going to come out about these e-cigarettes that's going to make it really, really bad. Like, bad like cigarettes are bad for you. Because remember, cigarettes, back in the day, That was the thing. Like even on television and stuff, it was common, and they found out it was bad for you. I think the same thing's gonna come out with e-cigarettes. You heard it here first, folks.
I just don't want to have nothing that I'm drawn to have to do all the time.
It gets expensive.
Yeah, I don't want a habit like that, especially it's expensive. I mean, I already have a habit of driving, and that costs gas.
Yes.
So that's
speaking
expensive
of which,
enough.
I've got to get gas.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate all of you being here tonight and joining in our little 2-hour show, the Hey Techies Show. And, of course, you can catch us, HeyTechiesShow.com, and our rewinds at 1 p.m. on this very station here.
And never know, one day.
On Sunday.
One day, I'm actually coming to the live show on Sunday.
We may try to do that. I don't know. We shall see. Guru keeps trying to talk me into it.
Listen at 1 o'clock on Sundays, and you'll find out.
Well, from all of us to all of you, have a great weekend.
The Hey Techies Show is produced by The Guru and co-produced by Mike Stedham. Join us again next time for another exciting installment of The Hey Techies Show. It's going to be great, maybe.